Good evening. At the end of each year, all teachers receive a little slip of paper in their mailboxes, providing us with the opportunity to nominate a student whom we feel is worthy enough of being this year's valedictorian. In previous years, I have found it difficult to pick someone whom I felt stood out above the rest. This year, I didn't hesitate to put this student's name down. Then, when I found out that his fellow classmates had voted for him, I was extremely happy. I'm sure I speak for all of the teachers who have had him as a student. They epitomizes what a student should be. He is intelligent, hardworking, well-liked, and very, very funny. When he asked that I introduce him tonight, the first words out of my mouth were, I'm going to be on maternity leave. To which he replied, bring the baby. I couldn't say no to him. I was secretly pleased to be the one up here, for it meant that I must have made some sort of impression on him as a student. This student had the unfortunate pleasure of having me as his grade 11 and grade 12 English teacher, both in the same year. At first, he didn't stand out at all. He came to class on time, sat at the back of the room, did his work, didn't give me any grief, and would say goodbye after each class. Eventually, as his writing assignments started to come in, I realized just how bright he was. He is one of those students who just gets it, and seems to do so with very little effort. Writing isn't the only skill required for an English class, though. Oral presentations are also very important. It was during his oral presentations that I began to see his humorous side. He took chances and showed very little shame. He always volunteered to make a fool out of himself and had no problem laughing at himself along with the rest of the class. It's his final oral exams, though, that were truly amazing. In both grades, he would dress up like different characters, providing both an intellectual and creative presentation. His reenactment of a popular Justin Timberlake song will never be forgotten. As far as I could tell, as a student, he had no weaknesses. So without further ado, ladies, gentlemen, my fellow colleagues, and graduating students, it is my immense pleasure to introduce the valedictorian for the class of 2009, a student that I will greatly miss, Sajal Arora.
Spoken on a mic before, so at least I didn't fall on the stairs. So that's good. See, my instinct was to wing it, but then my mom told me to write a speech. Mom always wins. So, here we go. It's not in order. That would happen. All right. Good evening. Members of faculty, and good evening, distinguished guests. Undistinguished guests, you know who you are. And lastly, please applaud as I say this, good evening, graduating class of 2009 secondary school. Is that 2009? Oh boy, what a night. I realize most of you got your diplomas now, right? And most of you just want to get out of here, but you can't. Not until I'm done the speech, so just sit tight. Just listen and just enjoy, okay? First off, I want to say it's such an honor to be up here. And one second, get all this stuff out of the way. That's not my speech. I want to say it's such an honor to be up here as your valedictorian. First off, I want to say thank you to all the nominations from the faculty members. I couldn't have done it without you guys. Thank you, literally. And thank you to people who voted for me in the audience. And if you didn't vote for me, why not? The day I was called down to the office and presented with the opportunity to come up here and give a 10-minute speech, filled with the content of my choosing, I was stoked, thrilled. I had such great ideas, things I wanted to change at Turner. I wanted to make a difference. I was going to present an idea to change Turner Fenton to Turner Fenton Aurora Secondary School. But then I was told I couldn't do that. and I had to keep it serious. Not right. So I made some subtle changes. After I left the office, I took a moment to think over what had just happened. This is when it hit me. Of 3 things I was sure. 1, this had to be destiny. 2, I had to look up how to write a commencement speech. 3, I was unconditionally and irrevocably in love with Turner. Alright, so I decided to start with my biggest concern. That is, I didn't know what to include in a commencement speech. Thanks to my 4 years of taking French, extended French. No offense to everybody else, but I mean, it's cool. I was able to realize within a few weeks that commencement was a French word. Commencement. And to write a speech about something, you have to know what it means. So I wanted to know what commencement meant. So, being a genius that I am, I decided to break down the word myself. Commence means to begin. And means to lie. So this is a speech where I'll begin to lie. And lying is bad, I know, and it makes people mad, so when people get mad, they throw things. So if you're going to chuck something at me during the speech, please don't. This guy's a rental. So back to the story. Now that I knew that the word commencement was all about, I still know what to write. So I Googled what to write. I came up with a website that said 3 important qualities of a commencement speech. 1, to teach something new. 2, to be focused. And 3, to be respectful to the audience. These 3 words are also the basis of the most boring speeches written in the world. So I wrote on a piece of paper, crumpled it up, chucked it into the garbage. I decided to go my own way. I wanted to make something inspirational. I came up with nothing. So instead, before we graduate and start concerning ourselves about the future, let's take a moment to reflect on the past, because that's really important. Turner Fenton. I'm sure all of us remember Turner for different reasons. Some will recall the captivating Troy mural on the cafeteria wall. I mean, anytime lunch got boring, you could always find new things on that mural. Unicorns, extra hands on people, this just goes on and on. Some will remember Turner for its hallways, which never seemed wide enough between classes because of all the people hanging around by the doors. What's up with that? Also, the hallways, I mean, they have like all those pictures lined up against the wall. I mean, we used to love those during lunch. We used to compare all the people that we knew today to the people in the past. Look at all the mullets and the crew cuts and just have all that. We're going to be down the same road a couple of years from now. They're going to be laughing at us, but that's okay. We had fun. But Turner wasn't just about the hallways, or the paintings, or the large parking lot with people blaring their music from their cars all period long, just driving in circles. No, Turner wasn't about the parking lot with 3 exits, but 1 entrance. Turner wasn't about the long walks between the 2 building campuses, rain, shine, snow, whatever be it. We were there walking the distance. What I believe makes Turner Fenton so special are the people. I know it sounds cheesy, so if you want to go to sleep, go right ahead, and then just wake up and give me a standing ovation when I'm done. Let's start at the beginning. I still remember the first day that I walked into Turner, and my very first class that happened to be phys ed. Not very athletic. I'm not gonna lie. And when I walked into that class, I knew one person. One person. And it was Mr. Forrest's class. He's smiling at me right there. He's like, oh, no. It was scary. I mean, you walk into a room full of people you don't know, it's really hard to make friends. But I try. Honestly, I try. I try to be funny, but I had a tendency to say the wrong things at the wrong time. I got a little better over the years. I started saying the right things at the wrong time. Then for a while,